I think that we can all agree that one of the hardest things to do in crypto is knowing when to cut your losers. Because holding on to a loser for far too long will not only be very costly, it'll also be very, very, very painful. All right. And during these sorts of market conditions, time is money. Time is money. Trust me when I say this is a video you do not want to miss. That is for sure. But remember, nothing here is financial advice. I could always be wrong. Make sure you guys do your own research. Now, real quick before I get into things, for anyone looking for a great crypto exchange, check out my link to BTCC. You get 10% bonus on first time deposits, extra bonuses up to $10,000. It requires no VPN, no KYC. If you're someone that trades using leverage, you get to use up to 500x leverage. The link will be in my description down below for anyone that's interested. But getting straight into the video here, if we kick things off by taking a look at the crypto bubbles, we can see that it's a green day in the market, which is great, except that these coins are still down from where they were about a week ago. So no, this doesn't really matter to most investors. We want to know when these coins are going to double, do a 2x, a 3x, 4x, 5x, 10x, 20x. That's what most investors want to know, right? Because it's just been painful holding majority of these coins in the top 100. We constantly see coins entering in and out of the top 100 on CoinMarketCap, for example. This one has been talked about a lot recently, XPL, and same with ASTER. We've been talking about how this could be the next big narrative in the crypto space, the perps DEX. Okay, so always pay attention to what's going on in the overall space. Where are people looking at the perps DEX? That could be something that you guys might want to check out. Now, if we check out the fear and greed index, we're currently sitting at a 28 fear. When did it get back into fear? Because just a week ago, we're sitting at 53 neutral, and now we're back into fear. People are panicking. People feel like the bear market is around the corner, but people have said that 100 times over the last couple years, and Bitcoin kept making new all-time highs. So I always tell you guys, ignore the noise, because at the end of the day, no one actually knows what they're talking about. A lot of this is guesswork. A lot of it is guesswork. You know, like last bull cycle, I got extremely lucky. I told you guys, if you guys have been following me for a long period of time, I got extremely lucky. I got out of most of my altcoins somewhere near the top. I don't exactly remember where Bitcoin was sitting at the time, but it was somewhere near the top before Bitcoin crashed all the way down to like $16,000. All right, now I did hold on to a couple meme coins, which I didn't have much money in there to begin with, and they basically went to zero. But the question is, where should you actually be selling your losers? All right, even though this is the Bitcoin chart, I'm not saying that Bitcoin is a loser. I'm just using this chart for a example. Okay, so let's say you bought this coin all the way at the peak at 70K. All right, so you bought all the way up here, and then it starts to come down. Where do you start to take the L? Do you take the L right here at 59K? Do you take the L right here on a dead cat bounce at 48K? Do you take the L down here at 30K? Or do you take the L at the very bottom at 16K? When do you start to take the L? Well, ultimately, it's going to come down to where are we in the crypto bull cycle? Because if we are deep into the bull cycle where all these altcoins have already done like a 50x and stuff like that, at that point you got to ask yourself, how much higher can we realistically go? Now you guys need to understand that the answer to that question needs to come from you, not from somebody else, because the last thing you want is for someone to convince you that these coins are going to continue to rally and then they just completely dump. What you need to do is zoom out on the charts a little bit on any coin that you're holding. Okay, you zoom out, you go all the way back to see where these coins are actually coming from, because for Bitcoin, this thing was coming from about $5,000, right? $5,000 all the way up to 70K, right? So you got to say, well, people bought in all the way at the bottom at 5K. So as these coins start to crash, right, the people that bought in at the very bottom, they're going to just get scared and they're going to start to panic sell. They're going to start to take profits, right? So you'll be holding, but they're going to be taking significant profits because they're up a lot. So what you should do if you zoom out on the charts and you realize that you actually bought this coin at a all-time high, what you should do is add a trailing stop loss. Add that trailing stop loss. Now, I've talked about trailing stop losses in previous videos. I'm not going to fully cover it, but it does protect you just in case the coin that you're holding comes down like 90%. You don't want to come down with the ship. All right, not unless you plan on buying the dip minus 90%. That's a completely different story. It all depends on what your trading strategy is. But if you bought a coin because it's part of a great narrative, you feel like it's just going to rally because everyone's highly talking about it and all stuff like that, then it's very, very smart to add a trailing stop loss so your portfolio doesn't get completely wiped out. But now let's say that it's too late for you. You bought a coin, you're already down like 30%, 50%. So the question is, what do? You didn't add the trailing stop loss. So you want to know what to do right now. How do you know if the coin is a actual loser? Well, the main thing that you need to ask yourself is, what narrative is a coin in? Is it part of RWA? Is it part of AI? Is it part of stablecoins? Like, what narrative is it in? Because unless it's in a big narrative, then the likelihood of a great rebound is probably going to be extremely small. For example, the gaming narrative, I think that is a dead narrative for this cycle. Some people like to talk about, the Grand Theft Auto game that's coming out. I think it's what, GTA 4, or are they in 5? I don't know. I don't really play video games. But I don't think that's going to do anything for the gaming narrative for this cycle. I think that it's over. So if you're holding a coin that's not in the right narrative, then it is time to rotate out. Now, sometimes I do take that big L. I have done it in the past where I'm down 50% on a coin and I put it into a stronger narrative coin, but the coin hadn't rallied yet. All right, I put it into a coin that I believe is going to rally, and that's the only reason why I decide to make that move. What we want to be doing right now, and I'm not telling anyone to take a L on anything. Ultimately, that comes down to your decision. But for me personally, I would only take the L if I believe there is no hope for that narrative. All right, because if that narrative can come back, because AI has cooled down a little bit, same with RWA, but I believe they are going to pick up again. And this is why I'm not too worried about holding RWA or AI coins, as long as the market condition is favorable. And I don't believe that Bitcoin has topped out or the overall market has topped out, then I can continue to hold a coin even if I'm down 50%. But if I feel like the market has topped out, then yes, if I'm in the wrong narrative, I'm going to get hit disgustingly, and it's just way too risky. If you are worried about a coin that you hold, it's best to just get out. And we need to be looking for coins that's in this phase right here, the accumulation zone. This is what we need to be looking for. We don't need coins all the way at the top of the charts. We need to look for coins that's already just trading sideways. All right, so not a lot of people have made profits yet. All right, so those people are going to continue to hold because they expect a parabolic move towards the upside. Those are the types of coins that we need to be looking for right now. And a lot of the altcoins really haven't made that sort of parabolic move yet. They haven't. When you think about something like SAY, it didn't really move all that much. SWI, it did move a bit, but I believe there's a lot of room left to run. L1s is going to be massive. Yes, PerpDex is the talk right now, but just L1s in general is going to just be massive, I personally think. So if we're talking L1s, again, we got to look at SAY, because SAY is still, in my opinion, in the accumulation zone. When it first came out, right, it went parabolic. It went all the way up to $1.14. Right now it's back down to 28 cents. It's still, in my opinion, in the accumulation zone, and we cannot ignore something like this. Something like this could literally take off at any moment. We saw what Solana did. When was it? Last year, 2 years ago now. I just feel like time just flies. I can't even keep up. But Solana was sitting at like, what, $9? Let me pull it up for you guys, okay? Solana, where is it? SOL. This thing was sitting at like $9 and it went parabolic. Now, luck does have something to do with it, because Solana meme coins went nuts, and obviously you have to buy Solana, then, change it over to get the meme coins and stuff like that. But the point here is people still believed in Solana, and that's because it's a very solid L1. And that's why we saw Solana go from $9 at the very bottom. Man, this is way back. Yeah, take a look at this. All the way back here, right? $9 all the way to over $200. Okay, and a movement like this can happen at a moment's notice. You won't even know when it happens. You just wake up one day and you're going to see SAY sitting at the top of the charts, sitting at $1.15. And then people's going to be like, well, it's already the top of the charts, and it just continues to run. So We want to get these coins in the accumulation zone, right? So Sei is one that's going to be massive, in my personal opinion, for this cycle. Another coin that we need to be paying very close attention to is going to be Pump Fund. Pump Fund did actually rebound a little bit. I was hoping to get it down towards 0.0045. If you guys have been watching my last few videos, I've talked about this one and I kept saying I feel like it could potentially come down to 0.0045, but it didn't even get that low. Let's see, what did it get down to? 0.0049 actually, so it was close enough. Let's see where it goes from here, because it could still continue to fall. But again, we need to get these things as close to the bottom on the charts as possible in the accumulation zone. For me, Pump Fund's accumulation zone is anything in this area. It's still relatively new, all right? But the longer we get and the deeper we get into this bull cycle, I expect great things from this. And unless you believe that the meme coin cycle is over, if you believe the meme coin cycle is over, then obviously you don't get something like Pump Fund. But if you do believe that meme coins is here to stay, then you have to take Pump Fund into consideration, if you ask me. All right, and it's still somewhat in the accumulation zone. Things are just getting started for this. And if you're into meme coins, make sure you take a look at Troll. That one is I've talked about that one many times. It's going to be crazy. But anyways, yes, we want to get coins in accumulation zone and just cut the losers, man. If you're holding a dead narrative, you're just wasting your time and you're going to miss this bull cycle. Unless you have multiple amounts, if you've got lots of money where it doesn't matter, you can just hold and, if the dead narrative pick back up, it is what it is. If it doesn't pick back up, it is what it is, then that's fine. But if you don't have a lot of money to put all over the place, then you got to get rid of the dead narrative coins and rotate the money into coins that's actually in a proper narrative for this cycle. But once again, nothing is financial advice. If you do cut your L's and then rotate into something that's already been running, then that's on you, not on me, not financial advice. I could always be wrong. But that's all I have. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Check out a few of the links down below. And until next time, take care.